You've seen him. The man who walks into a room and the temperature changes. He doesn't say a word, he's not loud, he's not wearing a flashing sign, but his presence has gravity. The conversations shift. Men subconsciously straighten their posture. Women feel him. And then you've seen the other guy, the jester. Loud, overcompensating, bragging about the car he leased, the money he hasn't quite made, the women he's conquered. He is a broadcast of desperation. He fills the air with noise, and yet nobody, not the men and certainly not the women, actually respects him. Let's be brutally honest. Most men today are not men. They are boys trapped in aging bodies. They are emotionally incontinent. They cannot control their mouths, they cannot control their focus, and they absolutely cannot control their most primal impulses. They are walking, talking, open wounds, bleeding their power, their focus, and their life force onto the pavement, one DM, one meaningless hookup, one desperate plea for validation at a time. This isn't freedom, it's the most sophisticated prison ever built. If you are ready to stop being a leaky man, a boy in the chaotic winds of impulse, and start forging the sovereign king, you must master the skills that separate the rulers from the ruled. The first and most ignored source of a man's power, the war for the eternal throne. I'm talking about sexual discipline. This is the uncomfortable truth, the one that makes the modern man squirm because it is the very engine of his destruction. Most men are slaves. They are not players, they are not free. They are puppets dangling from the strings of their most base reptilian impulses. They waste gigawatts of mental energy, oceans of time, and the very core of their masculine drive chasing a 3-second dopamine hit from a pixelated screen or a temporary body. And then they have the audacity to wonder why they feel drained, why they are anxious, why they have no mission. Let's look at the hidden ledger. Every time you give in to impulsive, meaningless pleasure, you are casting a vote against yourself. You are telling your subconscious that your fleeting desires are more powerful than your long-term vision. Your focus shatters. Your self-respect dissolves. You are in real time leaking power. A man who is a slave to his sexual impulse is broadcasting a signal of desperation. He signals to the world, and most importantly to high-value women, that he has no higher purpose. He has no container for his own energy. He is a leaky vessel. And a woman, on a primal, evolutionary level, is repulsed by a man who cannot control his own life force. Why? Because a man who cannot control his own desires cannot be trusted to protect her, to lead a family, or to build an empire. He is a liability, a shadow, not a king. The man who masters this energy, who chooses to direct it, not suppress it, he moves differently. He doesn't chase, he doesn't hunt, he builds. He builds his body, his business, his mind. And a funny thing happens. His controlled, contained energy becomes a gravitational force. He attracts, he doesn't plead. He has direction, so he doesn't need attention. Let's go deeper. This culture of casual, disposable intimacy is an economy of distrust. We have turned something that should be a profound exchange of energy into a disposable hobby. Men jump from body to body, chasing a freedom that is actually a feedback loop of addiction. And they are left emptier, more disconnected, and more starved for real intimacy than before. Women are left more guarded, more distrustful, and more armored. This isn't about puritanism, this is about power. When you do choose to be intimate, it must be a choice, not a compulsion. And when you are with that one person, the one you choose to commit to, you must be present. You must learn her, understand her, communicate with her. This is the difference between consumption and communion. The jester consumes to validate himself. The king connects to build something real. A man who controls his desire controls his destiny. This physical control is impossible without the second foundational skill, mastery of the internal state, emotional control. Let's call it what it is. Modern men are emotionally soft. They are thermometers, not thermostats. They are a chaotic reaction to whatever life throws at them. The moment a deadline hits, they panic. The moment they are criticized, they crumble or lash out. The moment she doesn't text back, they spin out into a vortex of anxious attachment. You cannot call yourself a man if you are a slave to your own emotions. You are not a leader, you are a liability. Anyone or anything that can control your emotions controls you. True masculine strength, the kind that built empires and won wars, is not the ability to shout the loudest or punch the hardest. It is the terrifying calm of the man who can stand in the absolute center of a hurricane, when everyone else is panicking, when the world is on fire, when the sirens are wailing, and he is the only one thinking. He is the only one who is present. This is not suppression. This is not the bottling up that creates the simmering, explosive rage of the martyr. This is transmutation. It is the alchemy of taking the raw, chaotic energy of fear or anger and channeling it into cold, hard, focused action. This is the man women are primally drawn to. Not the bad boy, the jester, the king, the man who is the eye of the storm. He is the container. He is safe. His calm is a broadcast of dominance. People will follow that man to the ends of the earth, not because he demanded it, but because in a world of chaos, his internal order is the only thing that feels real. We've covered the body and the emotions, the physical and the psychological. The jester fails at both. He is a leaky faucet of desire and a volatile storm of emotion. But even a jester can pretend. He can act calm, he can fake discipline for a little while, he can wear the king's armor until the first real arrow hits. So what separates the actor from the king? What is the one skill that actually builds the throne? The one that separates the man who performs control from the man who is control.
We left off with the actor, the jester in the king's robes. The man who fakes control, who performs discipline, but who lives in constant terror of being exposed. His calm is just a mask, and the moment life truly tests him, that mask cracks, and the terrified, reactive boy underneath is revealed. The difference between the actor and the king is not the performance, it's the source. The actor's power is external. It comes from validation. The king's power is internal. It is forged. And it is forged with the third skill, the voice of authority. I am talking about communication. The way you speak is a direct reflection of your internal state. It is the resume of your mind. You can be brilliant, you can be hardworking, but if your words come out weak, you will be treated as weak. People will subconsciously rank you as a subordinate. The jester mumbles. The jester over-explains, betraying his anxious need for you to understand and approve of him. He uses uptalk, turning statements into questions, begging for agreement. He fills silence with noise because he is terrified of his own emptiness. The king speaks with weight. He speaks with clarity. He is not loud. He is resonant. He has mastered the power of the pause. He understands that the man who is comfortable in silence is the man who is in control of the room. He does not speak to fill time. He speaks to create reality. His words are decrees, not suggestions. This isn't about dominating conversations. It's about ending them. Real power is when people lean in to hear you whisper. You build this power by slowing down, by thinking before you speak, and by speaking only when you have something of value to add. Your word must be your bond. When you say you will do something, it is a prophecy. When your words have no integrity, they're just air, and you will be treated as such. But how do you build this voice? How do you forge this internal calm? It doesn't come from faking it. It comes from the fourth and most critical skill, the architecture of discipline. This is the forge I spoke of. Discipline is not sexy. It is the backbone of all the gods. You will not always be motivated. You will not always feel inspired. The jester waits for motivation. The king obeys his discipline. Discipline is the engine. It is the act of choosing what you want most over what you want now. It is waking up to the alarm, especially when you don't want to. It is going to the gym, especially when you are tired. It is doing the hard, tedious work, especially when no one is watching. This is not punishment. This is the ultimate freedom. It is freedom from mediocrity. It is freedom from the weak, average version of yourself that keeps letting you down. Most men quit when it gets hard. The disciplined man starts when it gets hard. Here's a psychological truth. You cannot affirm your way to power. You must build evidence. Every time you break a promise to yourself, every time you hit snooze, skip the workout, or choose comfort over progress, you are casting a vote for the jester. You are telling your subconscious, I am not a man to be trusted. My word is meaningless. And how can you expect a woman or the world to trust you when you don't even trust yourself? Discipline is the act of building trust with the most important person in your life, you. It is the hammer and the anvil that forges the man. It is the architecture that builds the internal throne. Which brings us to the final skill, the king himself, the man who sits on the throne. This is self-respect. This is the root. If you do not have this, nothing else matters. You can have the discipline, the voice, the emotional control, but if you do not respect yourself, you are just a well-built prison. Self-respect is the culmination of all the other skills. It is the quiet, immovable knowledge of your own value. It means you have standards, and you are willing to enforce them. It means you say no when something insults your soul. It means you walk away from people, jobs, and situations that do not align with your mission, and you do not apologize for it. The jester begs for validation. The king is the validation. When you truly respect yourself, you walk differently. You talk differently. You don't need to threaten anyone. Your presence is the boundary. People can sense it. They sense that you are not a man who can be manipulated. You are not a man who will tolerate mistreatment. You are not a man who will betray his own peace just to be liked. This is what turns the boy who seeks approval into the man who gives direction. Let's go back to that man in the room, the one with gravity. Why did the atmosphere shift? It wasn't magic. It was evidence. His sexual discipline means his energy is contained, giving him presence. His emotional control means his calm is a container for the chaos, giving him authority. His communication means his words have weight, giving him dominion. His personal discipline means that he is forged by evidence, giving him integrity. And his self-respect means that he is sovereign, giving him gravity. He is not the loudest man in the room. He is the calmest. He is the most focused. He is the man in total control of his own internal kingdom. Stop scrolling. Stop leaking. Stop wasting your one and only life on distractions that keep you a boy. Start the forge. Build yourself into the man who doesn't need to chase validation because he is the value. You cannot control the world, but you can control yourself. And in that, you control everything.